the Heat made Nikola Jokic a scorer, there's something else Erik Spoelstra is doing that is quite simply the key to the series. Of course, we all know about their zone and how they rely on three-point shooting, but there's something much deeper going on that we need to explore, and it centers around Bam Adebayo. He is the X factor with a capital X, since he's got his hands completely full trying to guard the much bigger Nikola Jokic, while also remaining effective on the offensive side of the ball. And that's where Rocky Balboa comes in.
Now switch now to southpaw anyway, will you?
No tricks, I ain't switching.
Yeah, but you're fading out again. Why don't you
I don't
switch?
need no tricks.
All right, go.
I ain't switching.
All right, you got a plan, you gotta switch it.
You see, Spoelstra begins the game with Bam getting touches primarily in the low post, despite his apparent scoring struggles with his back to the basket. But this is just misdirection, and they're willing to sacrifice a scoring deficit in the first half only to completely switch their attack after halftime. If the low post is Bam fighting right-handed, then the high post on top of the key area is when he switches to southpaw and turns the fight completely around. Look at the difference in touches for Bam from the first half to the second half in last night's game. It is clear Spoelstra wants to give the Nuggets a false sense of security early, then save the best of their offense for the last 24 minutes. This is played out for the entire playoffs for the Heat, as evidenced by these in-game splits. The offense continually gets better from quarter to quarter until they destroy you in the fourth. These stagnant low-post possessions are reserved for the first half, where they force a size mismatch with a quick ball screen, but we've seen enough evidence that this is not Bam's strong suit. Even when they get some weak side movement when Murray doesn't call a switch onto his man, Brown is there to knock this pass away into a turnover. But without Butler on the floor and the Nuggets taking control, they must have felt this was their best chance at scoring, and this is where it felt like a Denver win was inevitable. In my mind, the best part of the Heat's offense is when they utilize the pocket pass. When the gravity of the ball handler shifts the defense, then they slip the pass to the roll man with some speed going to the hoop. After Strus had hit a bunch of threes, the handoff sucks both defenders to him, and Bam gets a good look from 12 feet away to cut the lead to 6. He doesn't even need to catch the pass on his roll to suck Jeff Green all the way to the midline, which directly leads to the one more pass, and Kevin Love generating a wide open three-pointer that kept the Nuggets from blowing them out completely. But the Heat didn't get much of these actions at all in the first half, as Spoelstra patiently waited till the third quarter to switch tactics completely. Suddenly, Bam was on the perimeter getting lots of touches that forced Jokic out of the key. This quick pocket pass kills the defense every time, as Bam is too quick for Jokic to recover, and I wasn't even thrilled with the cut here that brought Gordon to the help, but gorgeous lefty finish anyway. It took a while for the perimeter Bam to take effect, but you can see how much focus the defense puts on the action to the right side, leaving Love wide open for three, but they can't take advantage of it just yet. There's something magical about getting touches for Bam out near the elbow. This split action killed the Nuggets several times, with Bam rolling to the hoop and keeping the help from rotating to stop the Robinson layup. Here's that same play, and they flow into a handoff out top. Before they can even take advantage with Jokic coming so high, KCP commits one of his 3 terrible fouls of shooters that wound up costing them dearly in the three-point game. It was like the Heat were a completely different team in the fourth quarter, as they fully unleashed Bam high post touches. This horn set gets them running a two-man game with an empty right side. There's the pocket pass from Lowry and another free throw line jumper he nails over Porter Jr.'s ineffectual contest. The Heat run their split cuts from all over the floor with Bam as the fulcrum, and while the Nuggets perfectly defend this action, it flows right into a handoff for sharpshooter Duncan Robinson. Just check how the slip by Bam to the hoop lures Aaron Gordon in a step, which could be the only reason Jimmy even got this shot off, but Butler gets all the credit for making it. I really couldn't believe that the Heat would be willing to sacrifice their best offense until the second halves. But just check their splits throughout the whole playoffs. It's what they do. And the thing you need to do if you want great tickets to any concert, sporting event, or the theater is to download SeatGeek, the best app to find tickets to any sporting event, concert, or the theater. With just a few taps, SeatGeek will scour the internet for the best deals out there, giving them a grade so you know what kind of value you're getting. They're rated #1 on Trustpilot amongst all major ticketers, so you can feel secure that your tickets are legit. Best of all, you can save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBALL. So head over to SeatGeek now and you can enjoy all your favorite NBA teams live and in person, where you'd see how merciless the Heat were in running the ball through Bam out top down the stretch. Jimmy might have been open, but there wasn't much of a lane for the pass, so they flow back to the right side with the Lowry-Bam pick and roll to the middle of the floor. Gordon rotates into full help to stop the pocket pass, opening up a long closeout for Jimmy to attack, and he gets the and one directly because of Bam's roll. Give credit to the Denver defense for really tightening up and being physical with the split actions, so that forces Miami to continue flowing into another Lowry-Bam middle pick and roll. Worried about Lowry's three-point shot, Jokic steps up, but instead of trying to recover, he reaches in on the pocket pass. No way he's getting that, and Porter Jr. struggled on his rotations all game long as Bam smashes for a double-digit lead. The Heat did struggle down the stretch, even though the high post touches and pocket passes to Bam were still there. They took too much time to start the possession, and they still had a wide-open Jimmy, but Bam inexplicably tried to dribble it first with 2 seconds in the shot clock. He had to rush it and threw it out of bounds. And they finally caught the Nuggets yet again screwing up a switch on the split screen, but Bam can't get the pass by the outstretched arms of Joker, slamming it off the backboard, ruining the best chance they had at a score, as the offense on this possession never got back into a flow. The defense easily contains this drive, and it leaves Lowry to burp up a long, tough one over the contest. And while this wasn't a high post touch by Bam, it was the inside pick and roll pocket pass that forced the rotation and KCP to take the foul and put him on the line, where he hit both clutch free throws. Coach Spoelstra was asked how they were able to turn Jokic into a scorer instead of a passer, and he had a curious answer.
That's ridiculous, it's just, that's the untrained eye that says something like that. This guy's an incredible player. Twice in 2 seasons he's been the best player on this planet. You can't just say, oh, make him a scorer. That's not how they play. They have so many different actions that just get you compromised.
But is that true? Is there nothing you can do to limit his passing? I mean, look at the difference from game 1 to game 2, and then look at his field goal attempts. Clearly something happened to make Jokic be more aggressive hunting his shots, right? Well, there was some evidence that they weren't going to help much on his post-ups, eliminating any kickouts or cuts that Jokic could find assists to. One big reason he got so many assists in game 1 was because of the mismatches Aaron Gordon could find. With Spoelstra starting Love, suddenly those types of plays were not readily available. But another way the Nuggets found 3 of his prettier assists in game 1 was running horns and getting Jokic high post touches. I love how they quickly find the backdoor cut for Murray out of this alignment when Vincent gets caught on the wrong side. And they can get the same idea with Murray out top to start, then rubbing off the Gordon back screen that earned a slam dunk and another dime for Jokic. But the Nuggets never ran horns one time in game 2, not once. Mike Malone is going to have to explain that one, folks. Now, dig deeper and you'll see Jokic only increased his field goal attempts in the first and third quarters. And why would that be, you might ask? Well, it just so happens to coincide with the minutes that Spoelstra put Cody Zeller on the floor. It's pretty easy to see right away why Jokic would want to feast on him, and I suspect they went through the game 1 footage and saw that Jokic only took 2 shots on him and wanted to change that big time. So he simply went to work with a ferocity we don't normally see from him. By tripling the number of shots against Zeller and only missing 1 of them, it put Spoelstra in a bind since Zeller's minutes were a disaster last night on both ends of the floor, and I don't think he can afford to have him out there at all the way this is going. The Heat now have home court advantage, but let's not ignore that the Nuggets have been able to build almost blowout leads in both games, and it's unlikely they'll continue to lose those leads like they have. And had it not been for KCP's silly fouls that led to 8 unnecessary points, plus this extremely strange offensive foul call on Jokic, the outcome might have been different anyway. But this is what it looks like when one coach pulls the right strings, keeps his opponents guessing, and is willing to sacrifice the first half in order to change tactics and roar back in the second. If he can keep this up, then we can't count out the Miami Heat.